You are listening to the Fit Figure Formula podcast. I help female perfectionists beat self-sabotage and lose the weight for good using the Fit Figure Formula coaching program. I'm your host, Stephanie Riles, registered dietitian, personal trainer, and mindset transformation coach. If you've been struggling with all or nothing thinking, negative self-talk, or self-sabotage, this is the podcast for you. Learn how to get consistent and become the best version of yourself from the inside out. So let's get started. Hello. I'm Coach Steph, registered dietitian, personal trainer, mindset transformation coach. And today I am going to be talking about consistency through the lens of grief and loss. So this episode actually is a request from someone in my free Facebook group. So if you're not already in my Facebook group, you should definitely join. You can come in when I do my live Q&As and also my podcast episodes and ask questions and give feedback. And I'm literally doing this episode because someone said, how do I get consistent during periods of grief and loss? And this could look like a lot of different things. We're going to break it down today. So I want to invite you guys, before I get into this really good episode, to the Fit Figure Formula. It's my 16-week macros and mindset program where I help you with the emotional and mental side of weight loss, as well as helping you to master your macros. It's 16 weeks with me in your back pocket. We meet Mondays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. CST. So you have 2 opportunities to get coached, but all of the calls are recorded in case you want to watch them back. I ask my clients for 15 minutes a day and 1 coaching call a week to come and make sure that you're getting coaching, you're getting the support that you need. And that is, again, 16 weeks. You're going to get my formula blueprint, which is going to walk you through what to do every single solitary day. And you're going to get workouts, you're going to get nutrition coaching, you're going to get mindset coaching, you're going to get guest coaching from my amazing guest coaches that will help you with your sleep, your stress, your time management, your hormones. And I cannot wait to help you. If you have any questions, drop them or slide into my DMs. If you're not already listening to the Fit Figure Formula podcast, you should definitely subscribe to the podcast. I'm going to be breaking down how to get consistent even through grief and loss. So in the month of March, I have been breaking down consistency from different vantage points. So I did an episode on consistency even if you're going on vacation, consistency even if you have a busy lifestyle. So if you missed those, make sure you go back and listen to the previous episodes. There's another one on consistency and having a tenacious mindset, because we all know that your mindset is the most important thing that you can work on so that you can get consistent. And I'm so excited for you guys to go back and listen to those episodes. April is going to be all about macros. I'm going to help you understand more about macros and kind of demystify the macros, because they're not hard. You don't have to track every day. And I'm going to kind of break that down. So make sure that you're following the podcast to catch those episodes for April 2026. Okay. So when we talk about grief and loss, what could this mean? It could mean that you have had a death in the family, or it could be a heartbreak. I do not know why sometimes when you have a breakup or a divorce, it really feels like somebody died. Why? I need to know the science about why it hurts your heart and you just feel like you just want to lay in bed all the time. So this can be any kind of loss, any kind of grief, even just, depression, even if you're going through like seasonal depression, things like that. So I want to give you some strategy, and I also want to give you some things that you can think about and understand that, number one, you're not alone. Literally, we all go through things and we have to like wipe our face and go out into the public and act like things are okay. So I want you to know that like when you go through hard times, I promise you, you are not going through them alone, and this too shall pass. So somebody might need to hear that this is going to pass. Just like every other thing, every other hard thing that you have already overcome, this is going to pass. So I just feel like somebody needs to hear that today. I even need to hear that because y'all have no idea how mentally I have been challenged over the last several years. Being an entrepreneur is hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. And I don't think I would have done it in this way, in the fashion that I did. I just jumped into it without, a 9 to 5, without any business experience or anything. I just thought it was going to be a lot easier than what it actually is. And yeah, it's taught me a lot of lessons and I've grown so much. I feel like I'm not even the same person. So if you're going through something, you're not alone. But we don't want to rely on willpower, because your willpower is going to fail. If you are experiencing grief and loss and you're like right in the middle of your weight loss journey, you don't want to just rely on willpower, because that's going to fail. There are going to be good days and there are going to be days where you don't feel like getting up out of the bed. So number one is it's okay to not be okay. You have to allow yourself to humanize yourself. You're not a robot. Give yourself literal time to be sad, to be angry, to be lonely, to be confused, to feel what you feel, and just sit with that feeling without trying to change it and without trying to judge it, without trying to move around it, buffer it, or telling yourself that you should be past it by now. Feel what you feel. I do feel like when we resist the current moment, we extend our suffering. And I think that if we kind of sit with it and we lean into how we feel, we'll actually be able to see that, like, that feeling that feels so heavy, if you lean in, it's not actually as dense as you thought, right? And even if it is, you're still okay to feel that feeling. So it is okay not to be okay, and give yourself time to feel your feelings. Right? Also, while you're feeling feelings, feel self-compassion, right? Like, can we give ourselves compassion and talk to yourself like you would talk to a friend? Because we should be our own friends, right? One of the things that I think about when I'm going through something really hard is like, I have been with me this whole time. Like, I'm the only person that knows all the times that I've cried and nobody else knew about it. All of the things that I've gone through, been through, I'm the only one that knows, like me and God, right? So honor that, right? You can talk to yourself. We think all the time. Like, I want you to talk to yourself like you are a friend, and be kind to yourself. What would you say that was kind to a friend, right? And so when you start feeling like, oh, I should be going harder, I should have lost weight, I should X, Y, and Z, I want you to say, says who? Who said that? Who made that rule and made that like universal law? Who said that? Who said that it was going to be easy? Who said that you should have lost more weight by now? Think about what you're actually shoulding yourself for, and like, says who, right? So when we do the shoulds, we feel a lot of guilt. But I want you to be able to look at that guilt, again, ask yourself, says who, and look at guilt as just an invitation to be more compassionate to yourself. The guilt is just an invitation, an opportunity for you to show more compassion, and ask yourself, how could I extend more self-compassion every time you feel guilt? And spend more time in your brain and in your energy trying to figure that question out instead of feeling guilty. Number 2, you want to identify your emotional triggers. So this could be a certain time of day, right? Like maybe after your kids go to bed at night, and it starts getting dark, and maybe it's getting dark early, at some parts of the year, like maybe that's when you start really feeling more emotional. Is it when you see certain pictures? Is it when you are scrolling on Instagram or Facebook or social media? Is it being alone? Is it looking through them old text messages from your ex and, reminiscing? Like, identify your mental and emotional triggers so that you can decide, okay, in this particular period, I am going to, look through the pictures. I'm going to scroll. I'm going to, intentionally be alone, put on some sad music and feel my feelings. Like, definitely have a time and a space for that. But then also know that this too shall pass. I'm going to get through this. And how can I support myself when these mental and emotional triggers pop up? Okay. Again, self-compassion, knowing yourself. Also really look at the thoughts that you're thinking. If you're feeling a certain way again and again and again, it's probably because you're thinking the same thoughts again and again and again. So you might need to shift your energy at any point, right? One of the things that I did when I was first on my mindset journey, and this is one of the things that started off like me changing my entire life. If you haven't listened to the podcast of the trailer, you can go and kind of listen to my backstory of why I even coach so hard on mindset, is listening to something positive in the morning. Literally just starting off your day while you're brushing your teeth, just Google or look on YouTube or whatever, and just look up motivational speech or put on some gospel music and just start your day with something positive. And that can literally shift your energy. And you can do that really at any point in the day if you want to shift your energy, because music definitely will do that. Listening to a pastor or a motivational speech, a podcast, that can help you shift your energy when you are ready to shift from feeling your feelings into a feeling that maybe is more positive. Number 3, you want to keep it simple. So during grief and loss, we're not trying to be in the kitchen making, 4-course meals with a ton of ingredients. Keep it extremely simple and don't overcomplicate it. So you can use frozen vegetables. Those are totally fine. Pre-seasoned, pre-cut meats, rotisserie chicken is super simple, and you can remix that in multiple ways. So you can have the rotisserie chicken, but then you can debone that and make that into chicken salad, right? You can use pre-cut fruits instead of buying the whole pineapple and got to chop it up. You can temporarily use meal prep delivery or grocery delivery, like getting your groceries delivered. So at least you have something there to make if you want to meal prep or cook, right? So how can I make my habits, my meals extremely simple? How can I just take a walk? How can I create minimums? That's my 4th tip, managing your expectations. So what is the minimum thing that you know that you can do? And that might look like taking a walk and really focusing on habits that are healing, like walking, like being in the sunshine, just sitting out on your patio in the sunshine, grounding and going and putting your literal feet and toes in this dirt, on the sand, on grass, and just observing nature, looking at a flower, standing next to a tree, like standing and sitting under a tree, like doing some deep breathing, making sure you're drinking your water, right? Like those things are great for your mental health, your physical health, but also just your healing journey in general. And I do think that we should be doing some of those things, even if we're not going through grief and loss. So this would be a great time for you to incorporate that. Also, something that helps me is pre-workout. Like if I really do want to go get a workout in, because working out really does help me feel better. My mood and my attitude definitely helps me when I go work out. And sometimes just getting started with the workout is the hardest part. Like once you get to the gym, you can probably get a good workout, right? Pre-workout helps me so much. Something that I just bought not too long ago. If you're watching the video, you can see this little packet here. This is Bloom, and it says an energy stick. This is the raspberry lemon, and I really like it. I like it better than drinking coffee. Usually, I literally only drink coffee because I put my creatine in it. And I've told y'all how much creatine has helped me with my mood, brain fog, and just mental focus. But this Bloom stick, I really like it. So I think I'm not going to buy any more pre-workout, because this little energy stick from Bloom, I'm really enjoying it. It's pretty tasty. So I prefer to drink this over the pre-workout. So again, managing your expectations, like doing some of those therapeutic healing activities and creating some minimums, some basic things that you know you can do from day to day. And also thinking about this time in this period of your life as maintenance. Like maybe right now is not the time for you to be putting pressure on yourself to see the scale go down every week. Maybe weight maintenance is actually the goal. Maybe weight maintenance is progress, right? Because you know that you're probably an emotional eater, and that when you are going through grief and loss, you sometimes will overeat or gain weight. Now, I know some of us, me included, if I'm stressed or upset, I don't want to eat, right? So I'm like literally the exact opposite now that I'm thinking about it. So you might be on either spectrum, but again, that minimum can still be, hey, I'm still going to drink water. I'm still going to have like a good breakfast. Like we still want to nourish ourselves. So we don't want to think about it as like, oh, well, it's a good thing that when I'm stressed, I don't eat because then I'll lose weight. But again, go back to self-compassion, go back to nourishing yourself, right? If you had a sick child, would you just say, oh, okay, she's cool, she's not going to eat right now for days and days or weeks and weeks? No, you would be like, here's some soup, right? Like, let's go for a little walk. Let's, put your hair up and wash your face. Like you would try to do those little things that just make you feel a little bit better, even if the circumstance is not changing. So those minimums, managing expectations, you're not going to be necessarily pounding the gym and being your highest and best self during grief and loss, and that is okay. So check your energy, check your mood. When is your mood or your energy the highest? So check in with yourself. Are you a morning person? Maybe those walks and workouts, if you can get up and go do a workout, or if you can meal prep, maybe you want to put those in the morning if you're a morning person, and that's when your highest energy and mood is. Like, look at your own fluctuations, right? Look at also the fluctuation of the time of the month, because sometimes when you're going through grief and loss and then you're about to start your cycle, it's like even worse, right? So it's like maybe that week before I start my cycle and I'm in grief and loss, I'm just going to chill and take walks. Like that might be the minimum, and that is okay. So then you can kind of come out of that and then set a new minimum for the next week, because you'll probably have a little bit more energy, and make some new goals. But it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be at your best all the time, and you won't be at your best all the time. Think about 52 weeks out of the year. You're not going to be at your best every week, and that is okay. Allow yourself to have times where you're not at your best without it meaning that you're not consistent or that you will never hit your goal. Okay. Notice when you are creating momentum. Notice where, okay, I've logged 2 days in a row, or I've cooked something healthy for myself 2 days in a row, or I've taken a walk 2 days in a row, or I've sat and got some sun on my skin 2 days in a row. Like, notice when you are creating momentum and give yourself credit for that. Let that be enough to meet your expectation. Let that be your minimum, and don't try to overdo it during the period of grief and loss. Rest is therapeutic. Rest at some point is really mandatory. It's required. Okay. So 5, be social. So with this one, there's a time and a place. I totally get it. I am a major introvert, so I totally understand. And sometimes when you're in a funk, being alone, it's like, that's what we want to do. We kind of want to isolate ourselves, and being alone is okay. Right. But then at some point, right, you start kind of digging yourself a hole by completely isolating yourself all the time. And so it's okay to be social. It's okay to talk to a friend. It's okay to let somebody help you, God forbid. And for example, you could take a class instead of, if you're the type of the person that will work out alone, I like to work out by myself, but sometimes just to get me going, if I'm in a funk, I'll take a Zumba class, or I'll take a strength class, like a body pump or something like that, just to be around humans, just so I know that when I go to the gym and I go to a class, I'm going to finish the class. I'm going to get a good workout, because I'm not going to stop. There's people in there, right? So gather your circle, whether it's at church, whether it is life coaching, therapy, coaching, counseling, a friend, whatever is going to help you. Make sure that you get that help, you accept that help, be social, and have some balance. It's fine to be by yourself sometimes, and then make sure that you are having some human interaction, because that is good for our mental health. Gather your team. Okay. And let me tell you, here recently, I was going through a little something, and ChatGPT walked me through it. He talked me through it. And I was very grateful for that, because I felt so much better, and I felt better ever since. And I'm kind of amazed by that. So I actually really appreciate AI in this moment. So those are my tips for creating consistency through grief and loss. It's not going to look like the same consistency of when you are your best version and you're feeling great. It's not going to look the same. It's okay. So if you're in a hard season right now, release some of the pressure to do it all, and ask yourself, what does consistency look like for me right now? Then do that. and let that be enough, because it is. So if you need help navigating, if you know that like you want to lose weight, but you might not be sure how to do that, you want to feel better, you might be bumping your head up against the same issues over and over again, you want mental, emotional support, and also to make progress that is gentle and feels like support through all the seasons of your life, then consider applying to the Fit Figure formula. And I would love to help you figure out how to take care of yourself through every season, because all or nothing is always going to keep you very inconsistent. If you're always stopping and starting, you can always think of a reason why you should put your health on the back burner, right? And so your health is not optional. So making sure that we are building that consistency through every season of life, it's going to look different. I would love to help you get a dietitian and a mindset coach in your back pocket for the next 16 weeks. I do have some new payment structures, you guys, that I think you're going to love. And so if you are interested, make sure that you DM me, because doors are closing tomorrow. So if you enjoyed this episode, you should definitely take a screenshot, share it on social media. You can tag me if you're following me on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, and be sure that you're sharing the episodes, inviting your friends and family to the Facebook group, and make sure that you're actually inside of my Facebook group called Weight Loss for Female Perfectionists. And you guys can ask me any questions that you would like. All right. Y'all have a good one. And thank you so much for watching. Thanks for listening to the Fit Figure Formula podcast. If you're new here and you're struggling with your fitness journey, I invite you to take a super simple next step. Click the link in the show notes for a free training. If listening to this podcast has been helpful, imagine being inside the Formula Coaching Program. You can apply for coaching with the link in the show notes. I hope to see you inside.